If I was a man, and I'm not a man, but if I was a man, I wouldn't hire a woman. I wouldn't do it. And I say it all the time, and I say that, and that is something that women need to consider when they're talking about this stuff. When you are saying that a man complimenting you and saying, I really like your outfit today, is a form of sexism. If you're a man, why hire a woman, right? So you fought all this time to be able to get into the workforce, only to say these are going to be the rules. You know, if you say anything, even if you compliment me, if you look at me, anything, I'm going to have a reason to fight you. And by the way, you're going to want to settle and pay me, because even just the stain of an accusation is enough to ruin men. So if you're a guy, right, in this society, in this Me Too environment, in this litigation-rich environment of misogyny and sexism and all of these claims, what is the value add? What's the risk? You know, the benefit and the risk. I can't do the analysis and say, I'd just be like, no, I'm just not hiring anyone. Give me all the men.
So many women bring their chaotic relationship dynamics straight into their careers, treating their jobs like they would relationships. In male-dominated fields like contracting and insurance claims, problem-solving with guys involves practical discussions. Contrastingly, dealing with female employees in my current sources means bracing for neglect, unanswered messages, and, inevitably, restarting with a male colleague to get things done. It's predictable and tiresome. I was watching this video of a woman getting fired. She probably thought people would sympathize with her, but it's the perfect case of self-victimizing to justify bad work ethics.
And as of today, then you're going to part ways. I think I'm about to get fired. I've been having some issues with this company for quite a while. I couldn't come into the office today because I had a really bad migraine, and I told her, you know, I can log on later if I'm feeling up too late. I'm not feeling good. And now all of a sudden she scheduled a discussion in 10 minutes on Google Meet, and I believe.
And to that, I say good riddance. No wonder companies, restaurants, etc. are short on help. A lot of people cannot be depended upon to do their jobs. Imagine the audacity of telling your boss you'll do your job if you're feeling up to it. Only women. And the rest of the video does show major issues in her performance review. It's surprising to me why people still don't understand why companies don't want to hire women anymore. Here's her using her quote-unquote mental health problems as an excuse to be lazy, and then blaming the company for not accommodating her laziness.
I've asked what is the accommodation I was asking for. So I have a lot of mental health problems that don't affect my everyday life, but they can sometimes. I wake up with panic attacks sometimes. To be honest, they were triggered a lot by this job. And all I was asking for was to work from home on certain days that I would have what they like to call a flare-up. It's not eczema, it's a disability. And that would not happen very often, but the more that this job started to break me down, the more that they would happen. And the reason is...
What are they making her do to cause all these panic attacks? Understandably, if, like a lot of women, you've never had to work a day in your life, the prospect of doing some actual work would definitely give you panic attacks. Most of the time, these women don't even work. For example, this case of a woman getting fired from her job because it turns out she wasn't doing anything. Shocking.
This 38-year-old Sydney woman was fired from her job when her boss tracked her keyboard activity when she was meant to be working from home and found she wasn't working much. Susie Chico had been working at one of the largest insurers in Australia for the last 18 years. But after months of her missing meetings, being late to tasks, and even the company copping a fine from the regulator because of a document she didn't file, her boss decided to start monitoring her keystroke activity from home. That is, the number of times she presses a key on her keyboard per hour. Without her knowledge, they tracked her activity from October to December. They found she didn't work her rostered hours for 44 days, started late on 47, finished early on 29, and worked 0 hours on 4 days. They presented this to her and ended up dismissing Susie a few months later, except she took it to the Fair Work Commission saying it was an unfair dismissal. But after hearing all the evidence from the insurance company and not much from Susie proving that she was actually working, the Fair Work Commission decided it wasn't an unfair decision.
This is sad because it's not just a time-wasting cycle, it's a masterclass in professional irony. It's the pinnacle of irony when women gripe about earning less. Not only do they excel at avoiding actual work, but they also harbor this charming entitlement to men's paychecks. Enter the feminists, waving the wage gap flag, conveniently overlooking the fact that women either lack skills or willingly opt for gigs that won't even buy a fraction of the male-dominated paychecks. Bravo for aiming high. Watch this guy explain this point perfectly, debunking an age-old feminist fantasy.
All jobs that run the infrastructure of modern day society are typically run by men, over 90%. So what I'm saying is that the top 10 paying jobs are dominated by men versus the top least paying jobs are dominated by women, because women don't have the same interests as men. Women get paid less because of choice, not because of their gender. Women could go into the same career fields that men do, they choose not to. And this is even more exacerbated by the fact that women dominate college, yet they still earn less. Women go into majors that pay less because of choice. They want to go into social sciences and not STEM. When you actually equate apples to apples, right? All working individuals with the same profession, same career, same education, same experience, etc. Women actually earn more than men.
Okay. Well, why do men have maternity leave?
What? They have paternity leave.
Or whatever, paternity leave.
This is why I find it so ironic when some women clamor about the gender pay gap. It's as if they've mastered the art of avoiding productivity, but still demand equal pay. These self-proclaimed feminists conveniently ignore the reality that women often choose less lucrative fields or just lack the skills for high-paying jobs dominated by men. So, the wage gap debate becomes a symphony of selective facts and misplaced entitlement. Moreover, the gender pay gap is not really a real thing anymore anyway. According to data, the overall gender pay gap is decreasing, especially among younger generations. In the United States, the median earnings for women are around 82 cents for every dollar earned by men. However, like the guy said, simply citing the wage gap without delving into the nuances oversimplifies the issue. Factors like career choices, work hours, and industry segregation play significant roles. Women might disproportionately opt for careers in social services or education, which traditionally pay less than STEM fields or finance. So, before waving the banner of unequal pay, you have to look at the facts. Sadly, we all know that isn't women's strongest suit. There's also a need for another reality check. While women love to complain about not being hired for certain technical jobs, they conveniently forget a crucial detail: the lack of female applications in the first place.
Why I do not have any women employees. Now, before you rip me apart in the comments, it's not because I don't want to hire women, it's because they don't apply. Me being in this business for almost 10 years, not a single woman has applied for an on-field position. Which I absolutely understand. It's a dangerous job and it comes with a lot of responsibility and a lot of training. Which is kind of strange to me because all of my guys, they're never alone. They're always in groups of 2, 3, or even 4 guys when they're refilling units all day. And they're watching each other's back every second of every shift every day to make sure that they're okay, so there should be no reason why a woman would have any problem doing the same job. Really, the only thing I would worry about if I had a female employee was getting my guys to actually watch their mouth and watch their behavior. Yes, we're all adult men, but I mean, if you put men in one room together, then we're all just little kids at the end of the day. But yeah, I have it all planned out in case we get a woman technician one day. But yeah, right now I have over 200 applications for field technicians and not a...
The problem with women is that they expect job offers to magically appear in their inboxes without any effort on their part. This eye-opening video highlights the irony of their complaints, showcasing the stark truth that women often shy away from applying to these roles. Maybe it's time for a reality check rather than playing the victim card. Encouraging women to enter STEM fields is essential, but it won't happen if they don't actively pursue these opportunities. So instead of blaming the system, maybe it's time to take a good, hard look at one's own choices. But obviously, you cannot sail through STEM careers while doing absolutely nothing. You actually gotta put in the work, which explains why women are allergic to these kinds of positions. Instead, they'd rather be doing this. And this is why it's not a shock to anyone that companies have stopped hiring women. Not only are they unproductive and lazy, but they also are generally a huge liability in the workplace. But how can you explain this crucial fact to women when they are so eager to take offense or to accuse you of being disrespectful? It's like some sort of a collective delusion all women are suffering from. I was watching this video and cringed so hard at the effort this lady was making to get out of an argument she knew she was losing.
companies can pay women less, why don't they hire all women?
Well, that's a whole nother story.
Really?
I understand your argument, and I understand that you're angry.
I'm not angry.
I can hear it in your voice.
I'm not
Listen to
angry.
your voice.
I'm hearing my voice and I sound pretty calm.
You have now shifted the quality of your voice, and I thank you for that.
Okay.
And you've just given me a condescending look, and that's another reason why we need feminism. And now I'm done, and thank you so much.
What's even more hilarious is she probably thinks she did something there, with the way she pompously walked away. But this is a classic example of a woman doing what women do best, finding issues where there are none. And that's it for today on Sigma Traits. Make sure you hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, and don't forget to ring that notification bell so you can be the first to know when my new video drops. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. See you all tomorrow.